Hey guys, what's up? This is Carly Rogers, and you're listening to the Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Scissors beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats scissors, Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot, could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
You were just a little more stubborn when it came to falling for a little southern twang. Watered down well whiskey, baby, come and kiss me now. If you were just a little less gung-ho about tattooed and scarred knuckled, smoky, I love you kind of guys. If you wouldn't just listen to me, we wouldn't be sitting here with the bartender on a Tuesday, on a two-day bender, hangover, still hanging on for the weekend. Feeling like a George Jones song, watching everybody else sing along, all because you let it go and push us off at the deep end. Trying to drown the pain you left me feeling on the drunk side of drinking. We could be sitting on a beach, pink umbrella, being treated like a southern Cinderella, doctor or a lawyer fighting for a chance. If you would have said no to that dance, then we wouldn't be sitting here with a bartender on a Tuesday, on a two-day bender, hangover, still hanging on for the weekend. Feeling like a George Jones song, watching everybody else sing along, all because you let it go and push us off at the deep end. Trying to drown the pain you left me feeling on the drunk side of drinking. I wouldn't be sitting here with the bartender on a Tuesday, two-day bender, hangover, still hanging on from the weekend. Feeling like a George Jones song, watching everybody else sing along, because you let it go and push us off on the deep end. Trying to drown the pain, yeah, trying to drown this pain. Trying to drown the pain, let me feeling on the drunk side of drinking. Drunk side of drinking. On the drunk side of
Hey, everybody. Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out today on Zoom with Carly Rogers and Brian Judy of Freedom Jam.
Yes, hello.
Welcome to the show, everyone.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. Brian, this is like a three-peat now for you already.
Yeah, I'm becoming a celebrity. Yeah.
but I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to, I guess virtually meet Carly. So I'm excited to see you in person. Hopefully here coming up in August on the 29th at Freedom Jam.
Absolutely. That'll be awesome.
For sure. Is this going to be your first time in St. Louis, or have you made the trip up here before?
No, I've actually played with a mutual friend of ours, Matt Wynn, a few times around St. Peter's,
Yeah, St. Peter's.
St. Paul,
yeah.
all the P's.
Right.
In St. Louis, I've never actually played like in the heart of St. Louis, but I've played, around, I'm playing in the Ozarks in June.
Yeah.
June 19th. So, just kind of getting all that set up, but I've never played really in St. Louis, so just around the area.
Yeah. Well, St. Peter is about 20 miles out, I guess, and from downtown. But yeah, it's we'll show you around for sure. I'm sure Matt did a little bit of that, like you're saying. Which big shout out to Matt Wynn. Also, will be appearing at Freedom Jam.
Yes.
Big fan of his. So you said you two met in Nashville, or did you meet here around here?
Matt and me.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were asking about me and Brian.
Yeah.
Matt and me met in Nashville. I can't exactly remember how. I could probably scroll back through the Instagram messages and find out, but
yeah.
I can't remember exactly how I got in a bad car accident between now and then, and some things have kind of just been jostled, but I had no idea. We met here and connected, and he's written actually a few of my songs with me, a couple of songs that are going to be released later on in the year, I think, that we wrote a long time ago that I'm bringing back to the surface. And so he's fantastic. One of my favorite people, one of the most talented people in Nashville, one of the nicest, one of the most hardworking. I can't say enough about him.
Yeah, for sure. He really talented guy, and but I think that's the neat thing about a city like Nashville, especially as a writer, like just the opportunities to collaborate and co-write with all sorts of wonderful people like that. So
yeah, definitely. Well, and it's not very often you stumble upon somebody who's not great. We talked yesterday, Brian and me and Katie and Rob on the other interview about how there's just there's no lack of greatness in Nashville, if that makes sense. So it's incredible, and it's always refreshing to know that whatever room I walk into with any person is going to be in there, at the very least we're getting something done, and it's not a complete waste of time. So
nice.
Yeah.
So we mentioned, I guess I was with Jeremy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
PC Bombcast. Big shout out to them too. Good friends. We've been trying. We do so in St. Louis. I've been fortunate enough to meet quite a few of these different podcasters. So it's been fun to collaborate, just because we have mutual interests, So it's been that's how we met, and been having a great time getting to know him and the whole crew.
Yeah.
So. I guess you. Oh, go ahead.
So sorry. That's the trouble with these virtual calls is there's a delay. So I apologize to the listeners for the interrupting. I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. But no, it's been an honor having Brian introduce me to all of you guys too. I'm super glad that he's keeping good company and introducing us to it. So
yeah, I actually haven't even met Brian yet. So I'm except for through these. So I'm excited to meet him too. Coming up at Freedom Jam. Well, I was gonna say, I guess you got to do a little celebrating last night. Is that right?
I did. I wasn't planning on it, and it was a celebration overdue. I was unaware. I saw this thing pop up on my friend Ryan's Instagram page weeks ago about or days, whatever it was, a couple weeks ago, saying that his album had gone gold and had been Billboard #1 on the country chart. And I just didn't. I skimmed through it. I just saw it. I saw the record thinking it was just the song, the title track of the album. And last night was just taking a little bit of a closer look, and it said the entire album. And I have a feature on the album of this gold record. And I just wasn't even, I was like, is this legit? I was looking at it, and then it said album, and I go, oh, I'm on there. Like, it's me. And so of course, I immediately went and celebrated across the street at the diner, and ate my weight in French toast and scrambled eggs and chocolate milk and
There you go.
bacon, and had breakfast for dinner. There's a diner across the street from my apartment. It's called the Hermitage Cafe, and it's incredible. If you ever get to come to Nashville, this isn't even a plug. Like, they don't pay me to say this, but they only open at, like, during the nighttime.
Okay.
So they're not open until 10 p.m. and they close at noon the next day. So
Nice.
it's right close to Broadway. Super awesome. Now everybody knows where I live, but it's fine. Yeah, so it was great, and I ended up posting on Facebook, and then of course I had a couple friends text me like, hey, we're at Tin Roof, which is one of our favorite bars in town. All of our friends work there, so hey, slide over to Tin Roof real quick, I'll buy you a shot, celebrate. Then everybody kind of caught wind, and then everybody was trying to buy me a shot to celebrate.
Right.
And yeah, it was great. I saved a lot of money last night.
Yeah.
On how, I mean, I usually drink that much anyway. But it just usually comes out of my own pocket. So, but yeah, it was great. And I'm super fortunate for Ryan Upchurch and the opportunities that he's given me to be able to work with him and create music that's worthy of a gold record.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Two.
Like, yeah, for
We
sure.
have
Yeah,
two gold
two
records together
now.
now.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
which I think is I was doing a little reading that you've said in the past that you wrote Cowboy and Step on It in the same night too. Like, those songs were
Same week.
or same week. Okay.
The same, yeah, they were back to back.
Right.
First night we wrote Step on It, and that was the whole relationship with Ryan has been so weird. It just is all so random. Randomly met him at a birthday party, randomly found out, like, I didn't even know he did music. He was the guy on YouTube, or not YouTube, Vine. He was the guy on Vine with the guy that sang, which was Taylor Ray Holbrook. Growing up, I mean, we were 12, 13 years old watching them on the internet. And then, and that was about 6, 7 years ago. And, well, I guess I was probably 14 or 15. And then, long story short, fast forward, I meet him at this birthday party. I thought he just did like YouTube content, didn't keep up with it. I'm not a big cursor. Like, I don't like to swear a lot. So the language always just kind of turned me off. I never really watched the content, full disclosure. And then met him. He was like, come hang out at the studio. I thought it was a YouTube interview studio. I had no clue what I was walking into. Turns out it's a warehouse in the ghetto, and not anything against anybody that lives anywhere that I don't live, but this is a sketchy part of town, and it's on the other side of the train tracks. Perfect analogy. Just on the other side of the train tracks, literally. Big warehouse by the river, abandoned essentially, it looks like from the outside in. You walk in, and Thomas Toner had just completely done himself over with the interior. It looked incredible. Yeah. Brian's like, all right, so what do you want to write about? And I go, what are we writing? And he goes, a song. I go, oh, that's what we're doing. Like, I didn't know that's what we were doing today. I thought we were kicking it. Like, we're just having a good time. Didn't know that he knew I did music. And then one thing led to another. I had Step on It in my phone as like an idea, a concept. And I was like, well, I've got this one concept called Step on It. If you want to write it, we wrote it in about 20 minutes. I did back and forth parts and all that. Thomas had it fully mixed, ready to go basically out the gate that night. The whole project took about 45 minutes. And from there, he was like, all right, I'll see you later. I got other stuff I got to work on. So good night. And I walked out of the car. It was freezing. It was like November or something. It was freezing cold. And I sat in my car for a second, and this song called Motivation by Kelly Rowland came on. Just random on the radio. It was a hip hop station. Great song. But I heard it, and it was just, I had this line pop kind of in my head. I'm in love with a cowboy. Ryan's not a cowboy. I'm not in love with him or anything like that. So, but the line just randomly popped into my head. I'm in love with a cowboy. And I texted him right from the parking lot. And I said, I don't want to come back inside because it's too damn cold outside. But I just had another idea pop in my head. And if you're too busy for it tonight, I want to come back tomorrow and we can write it. It's like, today was a success. Give me another shot tomorrow. And he was like, all right, deal. And he did. He texted me in the morning. Was like, what time do you want to come by? Came by. We wrote Cowboy, about the same process, 45 minutes an hour. And we built that track completely from scratch, which was really cool. Same thing with Step on It. It was all from the guitar part to the drums to the lyrics to the melodies, everything was just built from the ground up, which was really cool. Ryan doesn't just purchase a beat like a lot of rappers do and then just start like rhyming to it. His engineer and his producer, they take a guitarist to come in, play the licks. All right, we've got like to a click, and then let me put a kick drum in here, and let me put an 808 underneath, and let me put a synth, and let me do all this stuff. And they build it from the ground up, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Long story short, I'm chatty Cathy now. I got this energy drink in me. But I've never told that story in full. I think I just got excited halfway through, like, oh, I've never actually explained this entire story before. So, that's why I work with a microphone in front of my face, because I like people hearing what I have to say. So anyway,
I'm glad to listen.
Yeah.
I'm happy to listen to it. I love these kind of stories, and that's what's great for a podcast is definitely being a long format interview, you can tell the whole story. So like that was cool.
You know what? And I'm supposed to get off here at whatever time. For anybody listening, I have a busy schedule tonight. I don't even care. We can sit here and talk as long as we want. I don't even care.
Yeah.
I'm in a good mood.
Yeah.
So that's the story of those two songs. And it was about 1.5 years before he put Cowboy out. I didn't know he was putting Cowboy out. We didn't really talk in the space in between. Like, and I don't know if he was just busy. I don't remember all of it. It was a long time ago. It was 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
But we didn't kick it very often. Just kind of, hey, just had you on my mind. Social media, whatever, likes, comments, messages, like, hey, hope you're doing well. But we didn't really cross paths again. And then the album came out, and I was like, oh, well, I'm on there. Well, that's cool. And we reconnected, not reconnected, but you know what I mean. And started kicking it, and I was like, when's Step On It coming out? And he goes, well, I'm gonna do a country album. Like, he pointed at the board. I was at the studio. He pointed at the board and was like, I got it on the list for the country album. I just don't know when it's coming out. Fast forward 3 years later.
Yeah.
Country album comes out, and 3 years and 5 other albums later, country album comes out. And so and it went gold and very quick. I mean, it only came out April 20th, so it's been a month. So it's pretty impressive, and it's an absolute honor. I'm super grateful, and Ryan has been there for a lot of stuff through my life here in Nashville.
Yeah.
So it's been such a blessing having him as a friend and a coworker.
And I don't want to misspeak here, but like is he getting a lot of radio play? I mean, I don't know that I hear anything around St. Louis playing for him, but my brother, I know he's a huge fan. Obviously the music all over Spotify and everything else, but so you're shaking your head no, you don't think he's getting a radio play?
Well, so the thing with Ryan is that 97% of his music curses.
Right.
And he doesn't do edited versions. Actually, he did a collaborative album with another artist who has young children, and they made like the explicit album and an edited album. And Ryan actually called the artist and was like, "Nah, man, I didn't approve that. Like, and
all right.
You're doubling your money. I don't get why you wouldn't want to have both, and you're also expanding your audience to the younger kids." But he's like, I just think I intentionally put the swear word where I put the swear word. I used that
right
as like a filler or whatever it is. He's so tactful with it, with his dirty language, and it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But radios obviously don't really cater to it. And then Cowboy, I've gotten on a couple of independent stations, but most of the big stations are curated by Music Row or other huge, conglomerates, and they just don't. I mean, you've heard Ryan's rants about Music Row and the industry, so they really don't give him the time of day.
Right.
Like I said, a couple of independent stations have given us Cowboy because Cowboy has no curse words at all, and I was really strict about that. Step On It only says bullshit, and that's not even really. I'm not like you can kind of work around that, but Luke Combs curses all over the radio now today. So
yeah. I think it's just crazy that, like you're saying, in like a month that to go gold and not having the support of radio, that how strong that fan base is of his, and it's really incredible. And like, of course, to welcome you into that, and as collaborate and everything else, like it's a really cool opportunity that you got to do that.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything like that, but he just went off on a rant on social media the other day about artists using him and him helping people. And he is the most generous person. There was one point somebody slashed my tires and they did it tactfully. I don't know if anybody knows this, but usually AAA only has the tow trucks that put 2 wheels up on it. So the back wheels have to be functional, or if one of the back wheels is out, vice versa. But if you have 3 or 4 tires out, they can't tow it. So somebody came and slashed 3 of my tires, and I needed a vehicle to get to shows, and I just couldn't afford to buy the tires. And he was like, hey, here's I'm not even going to put a dollar amount on it, Hellcat, souped up, supercharged, nitrous up, Hellcat, Dodge Challenger. Borrow it until you can afford to pay for the tires. And not just handing me 4 tires or 3 tires or whatever it is, but he's like, hey, I'll give you a vehicle until you can, until you can get your own, essentially. Right. And I think that that's an incredible way of teaching somebody, like, yeah, I'm not just going to give you something to fix it. I'm going to teach you how to fix it, or give you something that'll allow you to fix it in the future. And that's what it was. I was just using it to go to gigs. I wasn't driving it anywhere other than that. And I had it for 2 weeks. That's a long time to be driving somebody else's vehicle and driving it as far as I do. I mean, I would have probably had it for another week, but his wheel bearing blew out in it because he had been running it all over the place before he let me borrow it. So, and he's like, I knew it was going to go out at some point, so I'm sorry that it had to be you driving it when it went out. But it gave me a vehicle to get to 2 weeks worth of shows just so I could pay off the tires and put them back on. So tires aren't cheap. Oh no. Yeah. It adds up. So,
well, so big shout out. Check that out to Upchurch on those 2 records, featuring Carly. Again, you got Cowboy and Step On It. Give those a spin. But I want to I want to talk more about you and your music, your originals that you and your other writing that, of course, you singing on the whole songs and stuff. And but the bunch of great stuff. You just released a song called Just Another, which I guess is your current latest release, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to let this one sit a little bit. I'm a little disappointed with not with how it was received by the audiences, but just it's not getting the play and the playlisting that I was hoping for. But I think it's one of the best songs I've put out so far. I was super proud of it because I wrote it myself. Like, nobody can say, oh, that song's good, because you get this a lot, unfortunately. And I'm not even playing the feminist card, but you get this a lot where it's like, oh, she wrote it with 2 other people. Well, that's why it's so good, is because 2 other people had their hands on it, and discredit my level of integrity. But with this one and with Need You, it's like, no, I wrote these 2 by myself. You can't discredit what I can do at this point. And if it's a little bit weaker than the other one, so be it. But I really love it a lot, and I've never written an upbeat song by myself before. So I said last night to Bryant, I got this mentality about, it's called It's All in Your Head, and I'm showing you guys a book, but for anybody that's just listening, I keep it right here on the table. It's all in your head. If I think that the last song I put out was the best song I put out ever, then maybe 1 or 2 other people will think the same. For sure.
Man, I don't know where I go wrong, or to think I know by now. But I keep losing, singing blues, wishing one would stick around. I swear I'd tell ya if I could, but I just can't figure it out. Hey, might as well not kick myself. I've been known to make do without just another one. Another. Last one I had said I was real bad at communicating how I felt. Had the one before walk out that door for a blonde and made his heart melt.
Sure. Yeah, I really dig this song. I mean, not to like, I don't really like comparing artists, I don't like, but like definitely kind of the way like your vocals a little bit, and then just the fact that it's like rock guitar kind of a vibe to it a little bit too, but kind of like early '90s like Shania Twain type of stuff kind of vibe to it, and like, so it was kind of fun to hear a little bit of that, like a little bit of nostalgia kind of coming through there too, like. So anyway, I had a lot of fun with it. I'm not to say you sound just like Shania or whatever, but just like it was fun. It's a fun song, and she had a bunch of them. So
yeah, well, thank you. And I'm not a upbeat person typically. I write a lot of slower songs, and so Just Another and the release before that, Drunk Side of Drinkin', I've been listening to a lot of Cadillac 3 and Whiskey Myers during this quarantine, or not even during this quarantine, but at the time of. I wrote Just Another back in January, I think. So I think that I was in a Whiskey Myers Cadillac 3 kind of mood, sitting right on this couch and drinking some moonshine, pissed off at a guy. And, and that's it, just as easy as it was just another one gone. And I started blaming myself, being like, maybe it's me. Like, maybe I'm the reason that nobody wants to stick around. But not that I date a lot or anything like that. I was kind of embellishing myself, but yeah, and the second verse, it says like the last one I dated said I wasn't good at like communicating my emotions and talking about things that bother me, and the one before that cheated on me with another blonde girl, so it's like those two things, those are true, and I wrote them, and I love that song. I think it's cool, and it got a lot of frustration out, and it sounds cool. The production's incredible. Chad Judd is on those guitars. Here in Nashville, he's absolutely incredible. Alejandro Medina on the bass and the production, Grady Saxman on the drums, just a killer combo. And I'm glad that it all came together the way it did. So
yeah, well, very cool. Let's give a plug for Freedom Jam. You can again, hopefully, we'll be hearing this tune, "Drunk Side of Drinkin'" and Just Another live that evening.
Yes.
And that'll be August 29th. I almost said February for some reason.
February.
August 29th, St. Peters, Missouri at Diamond Music Hall, Freedom Jam, Operation Triage, Freedom Jam 2020 happening. And Brian, you want to give a quick rundown again of the artist and tickets and everything? And
Sure. Yeah. Well, you can get tickets at eventbrite.com. Just look up Freedom Jam. You'll find it. You can find it on all of our Facebook pages. And everybody's really sharing it. So great way of doing that. As far as our lineup's concerned, we got Molly Lovette. Actually, they just opened up that deal today where they had a drive-in concert. I don't know if you heard about that out at the Mills. So she's out there playing right now, which is kind of cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So they got, I think it's like 11 nights of drive-in concerts coming up. So she's out there now. And then we got Mark Perkins in the Outskirts following her up. And then we've got Carly Rogers taking the stage, and she's going to get them all energized before they get all loosey-goosey in the
while they're still paying attention.
Yeah, exactly. And then she'll be playing her sad songs, and they'll be crying.
No, I'm going to keep it upbeat.
All right, that's all good.
Only a couple slow ones, just for the veterans. I'm going to make the veterans cry.
And we'll talk about one of her songs there in a little bit. It's just a real honor, so we'll talk about that. But then we have Mackey Roberts, who you had on. We had him on a couple weeks ago, and he's the one that nobody knows, but you could just sit there and listen to him all evening. I mean, and by the way, it's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Mac!
Happy birthday!
So then we have who we have? We have Lindsay Bowman. So she's open for Confederate Railroad, Diamond Rio, lots of people. So very well established. She's got a brand new song out called "You Don't Get to Know." So everybody will be able to hear that. We have Flint Hill's own Matt Wynn and Carly's buddy.
Yeah.
So Matt, and we'll be talking to Matt on here eventually too, but just a great overall guy. I mean, a better person even than he is singing and songwriting. I mean, he's just a good dude.
Big heart. Yeah.
Absolutely. Then we have Dariann Leigh, which Darian's being played on local radio as we speak, with Wherever I Go. We have Payton Howie, which Payton has a couple singles out, and she was on with you, and she's very diverse, and she can kick it.
Yeah.
Definitely kick it. So, and then we have our headliner in Walker County. So, you know, and the cool thing about Walker County is it's not about them. You know, it's just as much about how they can interact with everybody else that's there. And that's what's really cool. You know, you talk to them, and it's gonna be a cool night. It's gonna be like nothing else that's been around here that I know of.
Right. Yeah, they're just down to party. They sound like they want to be included in all of it too. So it's gonna be a fun day for sure. Again, Brian said tickets at eventbrite.com, and what general admission starting at $10.
$10. Then there's a bunch of rail seats now that we were able to include. They're $20, so you can buy an individual ticket for $20. This is 8 hours of music. Or you can buy a table for when you do the math, it's $25 for a seat. You know, the table's $100. You can't go anywhere and watch a concert for $25.
Yeah.
It cost me more than that to go run the gas to my car and listen to the radio.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, and the great thing is that the proceeds are going to help veterans. And the organization, you know, a lot of it's to work on some housing, and then we also have an outdoor therapeutic area that's being developed, which is going to use some equine therapy, so horses and stuff for soldiers that are battling PTSD and stuff like that. So it's going to be a great cause. And you know what I'm really proud of are these artists, because they could be doing 100 different things that night. Carly could be at Tootsie, she could be wherever she wanted to go.
I will tell you what, you will not catch me dead at Tootsie's ever.
Well, you know what I mean. I just threw a name out there.
Tin Roof. No,
yeah, that one. But they could really be doing whatever they wanted to. And when I asked them, I really didn't have to ask 2 or 3 times. They were just like, absolutely. Sure. So they're giving up a lot of stuff, and Carly will tell you a little bit more about her and her passion for veterans and what she is, and but I don't want to steal her thunder. So I'll let you guys just come out to Freedom Jam, because you're going to see people that aren't typically from St. Louis. You're going to see them on the stage, and you won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
Well, and what's really cool too about all this, and if I may add a tidbit, is that, you know, first and foremost, I've got 2 or 3 bullet points here, but first and foremost, like Brian has been saying, it's not like what the $10 gets you or what the $20 gets you or what musicians are playing or, you know, who you're going to listen to that'll be on the radio next year, or whose song you're going to hear that'll be in the hands of Blake Shelton or Carrie Underwood next year, or whatever the case is, because that's real. Like that, especially with Matt and some of these other writers who, and including myself, who are pitching songs to guys like Blake, to ladies like Carrie Underwood and things like that. You will hear some of these songs on the radio one day, whether it's us singing it or somebody else, but it doesn't matter, because what your money's going to is really, truly changing not only one person's life who was willing to sacrifice not only their health, but their sanity, their bodies, their whatever the case is, but it's also helping their families. It's taking stress off of the people around them and their friends and other organizations that are trying desperately to help fund all of these projects. And so, and you know what, it's taken a little bit of money. It takes, I'm stuttering now because I'm so passionate about this, and it just means so much to be such a small part and such a big, what's the word I'm looking for? Like I said, I'm just speechless over it. And I just think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's impactful. It
really does. And I've firsthand witnessed people's lives change doing projects like these with similar organizations or organizations that have a similar mantra and mission. And so there's no greater experience than witnessing somebody's life changing for the better and for the best. Maybe the best thing that's happened to them since coming home. And that's the thing, is these people have gone away and come home, and they've had their worlds changed for our safety and for our sanity and for our protection. So there's no better way to spend $10, in my personal opinion, than helping build a disabled veteran build a ramp just so that he can get in and out of his house, you
Right.
know, things like that. Or building accessible doorways, or building whatever the case is. It's just absolutely incredible. So Brian, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of that.
Another thing that maybe the artists don't think about, but people look up to them. People look up to you. I mean, I look up to you guys. I mean, I think it's super cool what you do, because music is therapy. Music does a lot of stuff. Okay, so the stuff that you guys put out there and the time that you do is helping people, you know. And I can tell you this concert, I can tell you 2 individuals right now. One is a police officer that will be coming to the event who is in a wheelchair because he got ambushed. Okay. He was so shocked that he was even asked to come to this. Okay. Another one is a Purple Heart winner who says that he hasn't been to an event in how many years. He couldn't even remember how long ago it was that he actually went to an event. But they're super stoked about coming to this event, because veterans also like helping veterans. It's a big deal. First responders like helping, you know, they all pull together. It's all about helping each other. And these artists are coming in, and they're bringing their tool bag with them, and they're just bringing their artistry, and it's going to be an amazing night. And what other people will see, because people will learn about Operation Triage from Carly, because they'll see videos of her or something in it, and they'll see her and they'll be like, Carly, what was that Operation Triage thing that you were at? Oh, well, here's what it is.
And they go and look it up, and
there you go. And next thing you know, and Operation Triage is not just in Missouri. It was founded in Texas, you know, so you get people talking about, guess what? It spreads like wildfire, and that's what we want.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, and my family, you know, like Brian kind of mentioned, my family is full of veterans, and my brother is a police officer, and my father was a firefighter, and both grandfathers were in Korea, and it's just that whole, and all the way back, you go down the line, it just keeps going and going. Only cousins, uncles, friends, you know. I've got a friend who's stuck right now because of the coronavirus overseas in Africa, in a very dangerous war zone, because he can't fly home. And those are the times, I mean, it just is so incredible that organizations like this exist. I'm also a lifetime auxiliary member of the VFW, and I'm pretty active in that. It's right up the road, and I spend a lot of time there, just learning and listening and taking it in. And I just think it's absolutely just impactful and powerful. I'm super grateful. I've got 2 or 3 American flags in here, and every day when I walk in the door, take my hat, I always wear a hat, take my hat off, hang it up, look at the flag, and it just is a constant reminder of how grateful I am for people like that, and for anyone who's listening who has protected and served, whether it's here on the home field, the police officers, firefighters, EMTs, doctors, nurses, teachers, farmers, or if it's overseas on the battlefield. I know this is specifically aimed for veterans, but either way, I'm so grateful and grateful that I can do at least something, because I don't have a lot of money, but at least I can do something that brings in a little bit more money than maybe it would have.
For sure.
So it's just, I hope that everybody comes and that it's, I would love to have to turn people away and make them go and donate online.
Right.
That's the ultimate goal, is turning people away at the door. Oh, you missed out. Sorry, you didn't get here soon enough. And them having to go online and donate. So.
Yeah. Well, come on out. Bring your dancing shoes. It's going to be a good party, and all for a good cause, like we said. So can't wait. Can't wait to be there. Well, let's, I don't know. I guess it's not really a good segue out of that, but I wanted to play another song of yours. And this is one that really kind of resonated with me. Not necessarily like, I mean, it makes you think a lot, and kind of makes me think of some of my relationship as well. But a song called By Your Side, which also I kind of like you read the lyric, or you read the title and you think maybe it's kind of like a lovey song, but it's not quite the case. And it's really, you know, it kind of, where kind of resonated with me is like, there was time where, you know, you get busy working, and I was working 2 jobs. I was trying to do this podcast all the time, trying to, you know, hustle, just trying to make everything bigger and better for us and everything else. But at times I I did forget or wasn't around as much for my wife and everything else. And so listening to these lyrics sort of hit that vein, like where it's like I realized like I should have been there more and everything else, and should have been more present and stuff. And when I was there, and so
this is gonna sound horrible, but I love that story so much because I haven't heard that perspective yet. Obviously,
right.
This came from a place of her. All three of us that wrote on it, Cameron Palmer, Allie, Colleen, and myself, had all been in scenarios at one point. But for me specifically, and why I was very adamant that I wanted to record this song, and not that I wouldn't want Allie or Cameron to, but I was like, this is like, I want this one. I had a horrible relationship, and not to go into too many details, there's, legal stuff, but long story short, dude was out cheating on me all the time. And I was sitting at home. That's how I learned to play guitar, was sitting in my dorm room waiting for my boyfriend to come home. And while he was out at the bars cheating on me because I was underage and I'd gotten my last fake ID taken away. And I finally just picked up the guitar and just sat for 4 or 5 hours, sometimes 6, just watching TV, pretty sad, and just felt super lonely and felt like I was doing the right thing and being a good girlfriend. And that was more important than doing what was best for me and being selfish, essentially. But yeah, that's where that song kind of stemmed from for me personally. I don't want to speak on behalf of anybody else. But yeah, and so I'm just super grateful that song hit you in a positive way, in that you realize, well, hey, maybe I can do 1 or 2 things different and not allow my wife to feel that way. That's so incredible. Good for you, man.
Oh, thanks. Well, yeah, I mean, it's always been, always been about a balance for me. It's like, yeah, you can do all the fun stuff, but I still make time for the date nights and everything else and be there and stuff. So you got to definitely do that. But I know there was times where I wasn't as present as I probably should have been and stuff. So when I listened to these lyrics, kind of like, put that where I kind of went back to those times where maybe, put her second, or kind of that kind of made her feel like that at times or whatever, so try to do better. And so, yeah, it was
and that's
really,
all you can hope for. And
right.
And that's the other thing too, if anybody does listen, my one takeaway, my hope is that somebody can, at least one person listens to it and thinks, wow, I feel the exact same way. I want to do something that I want to change. Like whatever the case is, whether it's your perspective of you want to change what you're doing so that your partner doesn't feel that way, or if you are the person that feels that way, you take a step in a different direction. You pivot and make a selfish decision to make yourself happier, whether that's leaving this person, whether that's vocalizing that you feel a certain way. And obviously, I don't know people's relationships, or maybe they feel that way about their parents or their siblings or their friends. I mean, friends can make you feel that way too. So I just hope somebody hears it somewhere, like you just said, and thinks, wow, I understand that, and I hear that, and I need to make a change somewhere to make this better. So
how was I supposed to know I would feel so alone being together? I thought it'd be better. The pinnacle of my heartbreak was the night that you betrayed every promise. If I'm gonna be honest, this bed is getting colder by the second, but I like it that way. Anything's better than me sitting here begging you every night to stay. This heart might be empty, like these sheets I'm in tonight. The funny thing is that being alone feels just like being by your side. Now you can say it's all my fault, but I'm gonna be honest, this bed is getting colder by the second, but I like it that way. Anything's better than me sitting here begging you every night to stay. This heart might be empty, like these sheets I'm in tonight. The funny thing is that being alone feels just like being by your side. We would fight, it was you, it was I, rain falling from the sky. In the middle of the night, I could see it in your eyes. Something wasn't right. You said that I was crazy, but was I really, baby? This bed is getting colder by the second, but I like it that way. Anything's better than me sitting here begging you every night to stay. This heart might be empty, like these sheets I'm in tonight. Funny thing is that being alone feels just like being by your side. Being alone.
You can find all these songs you've heard today on Spotify and wherever you're getting your digital music at. You can find Carly Rogers on your Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And
Yes.
but yeah, be sure to. I think even on Spotify now, even if you have your I think they have an option now where you can like donate to support artists and stuff on there through this whole COVID-19 thing and stuff now. I don't know if
I'm gonna have to look into that because nobody has sent me nothing that I
All
know
right,
of.
well,
And if Spotify's keeping it, I'm gonna be pissed.
I don't know. I think each artist has to set up themselves. So maybe if you haven't set it up yet, I would look into it. But
I'll have to do that.
It's a good way to. I think you can link it through whatever it is, but it gives an option. But anyway, regardless, if you can buy Carly's music and support these songs, and that would be awesome instead of just sitting and spinning up. But of course, add it to any Spotify playlist or whatever. Get the word out there. Continue to spread the word around. And
I actually have a whole playlist on my my personal listener Spotify. It's just carly.rogers. And it's called My Music, and it's a whole playlist of all the songs I've ever been featured on, recorded, released. So it's got the Upchurch songs on there. It's got the Demon Jones song on there. It's got the Biddy James song on there. And any other features. I'm officially a rapper. I got in the studio yesterday and became a rapper on a Leroy Big song. So I'm going to have that song on there as soon as it comes out. So if y'all find that playlist, or just download them all on your phone and have it on your own playlist.
There you go. I had a couple of questions I want to ask you.
Yeah.
And so I know you did a little, like, doing a little homework. There's a
Willie.
Willie hanging out.
Yeah, there's one of my flags, but yeah, he just wanted to come over and start whining, so I wanted to say hi to him.
Yeah, I love
questions.
that.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's all right. I love that he has his own Instagram too. That's so.
Well, that was courtesy of the family I got him from. Actually, he was abused and neglected pretty bad by a person, and the family of said person said, "Hey, we want to keep up with him still. We love this dog. It's just we're 1,000 miles away. Can you still post photos and stuff and tag us in them or whatever it is?" And I just was like, I don't want to flood my accounts with him because I'm trying to do music here and I only got 2,000 followers. So I was like, yeah, I'll just make him his own, and started out with like 5, just the family members, 5 followers, and now he's got almost 1,000.
Yeah.
So people have been following him along.
Yeah. What Willie Road Dog or something like that, right?
Yeah, Willie like Nelson.
Yeah.
I didn't name him, but I probably would have named him like Thumper or something, because when he runs around and he kind of just or Prancer, you know. But He's cool. His name's Willie Road Dog on Instagram, and I just, whenever I think of it, it's nothing consistent. It just, sometimes it's just a daily, like it could be a Tuesday at 4 a.m. and I just post a photo of him by the pool, like
Right.
something that when I think of it, I flip over there, I add it. So it's just a little surprise, a little Easter egg every now and then that you just happen to stumble upon.
I also have a brindle rescue, and we believe pit boxer. Here's a.
Oh, she's beautiful. Yeah, we think he's Plot Hound or Great Dane pit.
So I was thinking Willie looked like he could be Java's big brother or something.
Yeah, he's 90 pounds.
They got some similar colors and stuff.
Oh, cutie. Yeah, she got the white nose.
Yeah.
Willie's got a white nose from being anxious at the kennel last weekend during a thunderstorm.
Right.
Scratched his nose off, but
yeah,
no, he's good. And not many dogs like yours is very distinct. It's the blonde with the black stripes, and the black stripes are pretty thick and dark. And a lot of times you see a little glint, sometimes it's a black dog with like lighter black or dark brown stripes, and it's not as easy to see. But I convince a lot of my friends' kids, because a lot of my friends have kids now. I'm at that age. And I convince a lot of my friends' kids that he's half tiger.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, like half tiger, half dog. And so that's why he's so small, and that's why he can give kisses. And so yeah, it's super fun.
There you go.
That's awesome, man. Good for you for rescuing. Adopt, don't shop. I believe that 120%.
Well, our situation was kind of crazy, actually. Like, so we had another pit. I had a male pit, red nose, and he got he was maybe like 6, I think. Well, he was also a rescue. We didn't know for sure, but I think about 6 or 7 years old, somewhere in there. And he got some kind of stomach cancer stuff, got real sick, and I did all I could to try to help him out. Took him to all these doctors, and then they're like, it's nothing we can really do. Probably be in his best interest to put him down. And that was so hard to do. And it was I had a bunch of people like, hey man, what about right afterwards, like, oh, but this dog needs a home, this dog. And I was just like, I'm not trying to replace my dog. It wasn't like that kind of situation. I didn't want to do that. And then I get a call from my vet. They were, of course they knew us as pit owners and everything else. And they were like, hey, somebody just dumped this puppy up here. She needs a home. And apparently according to the story we were told, somebody just dropped the people that brought Java in. Somebody dropped the dog in their yard, and they were like, so I don't know if somebody got a puppy and they realized they couldn't handle a puppy or whatever happened, but somehow
she's so angry.
Somehow she made it to us, and she needed a home, and we were happy to take her home. And we got that call, and me and my wife, I told her, I was like, let's go up and just meet her, like, and I was like, I know as soon as we went up there, like we leave him with a puppy though, but
you never go somewhere just to look. Like car dealership, 75% of the time you get something, but like 25% of the time you walk away from it. You're going to look at an animal to like, maybe we'll just go up to the Metro, or we'll go up to the Pound, and we'll just look or whatever. And if you're an adult, especially if you have a partner and you're just going to look, there's no way you're leaving without it. You know that. Or you're going back to get it in 4 or 5 days.
Right.
But yeah, Willie wasn't even really up for grabs. The guy that had him before he got him as a pound puppy. So he came from the streets. No clue where he came from. No clue what his birthday is. But we know how old he is about. But this guy got him and was fighting him and was like keeping him. He's 90 pounds now. And he's healthy. He's even kind of skinny because he free feeds. He's very weird about his food, but he was being kept in a crate for the size of a beagle at a year old and was 35 pounds, but emaciated. Now, where I'm pissed is that they go to the Banfield. He had a Banfield PetSmart vet account. Nobody at Banfield or PetSmart said anything about his weight. I think because the stripes, you couldn't see his ribs and his hips and everything. It makes it a little bit tougher. But he was very unhealthy. And just long story short, we walked into the house. It was my friend's brother. Walked into the house. He had another dog or something that was aggressive, and was like, yeah, we're walking out with these dogs. And he was like, no, you're not. And I go, yeah, I am. Or I'm going to call the cops, one or the other. I'm either stealing your dog with your permission, or I'm calling the police and having him seized and going and rescuing him at the pound. But I'm just glad, dude. This dog, I almost failed out of college because of this dog.
Yeah.
It'd take me 3 hours just to feed him. I'd have to hand feed him like a piece by piece because he'd only get fed like once a week. Just a complete turnaround, and he's like looking at me right now with those eyes like, Mom, stop talking about me. He's such a human, I swear. I talk to him, like I'll ask him a question, and if it's like a yes, he'll lick his nose. If it's no, he just won't lick his nose. Like, anyway, I'm crazy dog mom. I made an Instagram for my dog. That's all you need to know about me.
Right.
But good for you, man.
Yeah. I don't know a lot of it, but I speculate my first pit, I believe that he came from a similar situation like that. And so I know a lot of the struggles that you're going through, like, like 4th of July's were I stayed home because he couldn't stand being around all the fireworks and everything else and that kind of stuff, because it was just so I felt so bad for a guy, but I tried to give him the best home I could.
Absolutely, and I'm sure you did, and I'm sure if he could, he would absolutely express his gratitude. There's no better feeling than getting out of a dangerous situation. I know that firsthand. Right. Making it to the other side of a bad situation and being like, oh, this is what peace feels like for a minute. So, and I, as a dog, I can't imagine, being dependent. So that's incredible. Good for you.
Thanks.
And I know earlier you said something about asking questions. I just realized my sweatpants are on inside out. Heavy quarantine. What day is it? My sweatpants are inside out. It's such a quarantine statement.
Yeah.
But I didn't mean to interrupt you earlier with the dog talk.
I'm happy to talk about dogs anytime. I love these guys, and but anyway, I wanted to ask. I'm heading to I'm going to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and on vacation coming up. And so I know you spent quite a bit of time, on the road touring and things. And so I wanted to know, do you have any spots along the way that you would recommend I stop to visit, either for food? Because it seems like the route's taking me right through Nashville and everything too. So do you have any?
It's straight on 40, or are you? Yeah, because you would probably, if you're going through Nashville, you're probably taking 40 east all the way out. Sorry, I got to map this out in my head. Otherwise, I have no clue where you're at. And I have to verbalize it. So you're driving from essentially St. Louis all the way straight through 40.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and you're going all the way to Charlotte and then dropping down, probably getting off 40 in Charlotte and taking 26 or 70. I think it's 70 or 77. Yeah, there are plenty of places along the way, depending on which day of the week you leave. If it's a Thursday through Saturday and you drive through Knoxville on Thursday through Saturday, I'm going to probably be sporadic. These are not in order from like west to east. These are just places top of the list to the bottom, basically. And no shade on anybody that's at the bottom of the list. It's just the last one that I thought of. Cotton Eye Joe's in Knoxville. Absolutely incredible. Chuck, the owner, is my guy through and through. Diehard Carly Rogers fan. Loves me. I'm so tapping myself on the shoulder here and being so conceited, but Chuck is the man. Chuck has called me day of concerts being like, hey, WME or CAA didn't book an opener for this mainstream artist. Can you come out and open? Absolutely, Chuck. I'll be there in 2 hours. What you mean? I'll play that show in sweatpants. You kidding me? I'm shameless.
Inside out sweatpants.
Chuck, I don't care at all, dude. And that's another thing. I'm super grateful for having like such a lack of caring. Like I just don't have much of that emotion. So yeah, absolutely. I know that somebody out there in that crowd is going to appreciate my voice and whatever I play, regardless of what I'm wearing. And maybe one or two are blind. It doesn't matter what I'm wearing. As long as they have a good time, sure. I'm cool with it. But yeah, I've opened for Tenpenny and Upchurch and Taylor Ray Holbrook. And I'm supposed to be out there playing in September with Hayden Kaufman, who I'm also going on an interview with tonight. Super incredible place. They got good food, cheap drinks, line dancing bar, just an all-around honky-tonk, and it's right off of 40. You actually see the Cotton Eye Joe sign from the interstate, which is cool, right on the east or on the west side of Knoxville. Dixon and Dixon and Bulldogs. Bulldogs and Dixon is another place that's just west of Nashville, about 40 miles. Little biker bar, not biker bar, pool bar. It's the kind of place you can smoke inside, but they've got, it's a cool atmosphere. I love going out there, saying hi to Luke, the owner, and all of my other guys that work there. Nashville, there is so much to eat here. One of my favorite places to eat in Nashville is Brown's Diner.
Okay.
And that's, I think, any day of the week if they're open after all of this craziness. I don't know when you're leaving and if things are going to be back kicked open yet, but Brown's Diner here in Nashville, my good friend John Kraft introduced me to. Little hole, literally, it's a hole in the floorboards kind of place. Like there's carpet over plywood over holes in the floor of this place. But the best burger in town, cheapest beer in town, little just diner, bar. It's just so cool. The bar seats even kind of lean forward a little bit because they're so old. It's just super eclectic and rustic, and it's just incredible. So I love that place. None of these are paid promotions, by the way, so I don't want anybody feeling like they
right.
I was paid to do this. I don't get paid by sponsors very often. They usually just send me free stuff. So but I'm not getting any free food out of this.
Would be nice though.
South Carolina, I'm not very familiar with South Carolina or the route through there. I will say if you drive through just south of Charlotte, if you drive through Rock Hill, that area, there's a Texas Roadhouse in the Rock Hill area, and it's awful. Don't go. They were, and I don't write bad reviews. I wrote a bad Google review on this place.
All right.
I was like, this place is terrible. Like they gave us we got like boneless wings or something. Boneless wings are usually about a little bit bigger than a golf ball, smaller than a baseball, They were giving us boneless wings, or they gave us boneless wings that were just fried bread. Like it was the bottom of the bag, crumbs at the bottom of literally the plastic bag that the boneless wings come in, like just freezer box, whatever. Gave us those wings, and they weren't even fried all the way. Like they weren't even warmed up all the way. They were still frozen in the middle, which tells me they put them in the fryer for all of 30 seconds. No way they put them in there longer than that. So don't go to Texas Roadhouse in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Other than that, I mean, Charlotte's got a lot of cool little places. I'm not sure if you guys are just stopping for a lunch or you're trying to grab beers. So I'm trying to be across the board here, but
I'm just excited to see a little bit more of the country. We've never been that way. I've been, I've been to Chicago, and I've been to Florida, and a couple of things like I've been to Nashville, but we haven't gone to the East Coast at all. So this would be, like I figured Carolinas would be fun to hit the.
Really?
Over there? Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're from flat country. All right. I'm excited now to tell you this because I am not from flat country. I got excited going west into flat country. Like when I drove to Texas for the first time, 13 hours straight through, only stopped to get gas and to go to the bathroom. Literally eyes wide open, no energy drinks. Like this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I hope you have that similar reaction when you're driving through the mountains because that's where I come from. And when you get past Knoxville and you start going in, you have to drive through Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. You absolutely have to. If you don't stop at Cotton Eye Joe, or if you do, I would allot some time to drive through downtown Gatlinburg. It's absolutely beautiful. Maybe even spend a night.
Yeah.
But Gatlinburg is such a cool little town. It's just a 2-lane all the way through the town. Mm-hmm. It's like you're driving through, to me, it always reminds me of like driving through like the Looney Tunes part of Six Flags. You're just on either side. It's just these wooden cabins and I don't know. I don't know why I think of Looney Tunes. Maybe that's just my correlation for whatever reason, but it's just the coolest animated, most colorful place, and it's just really awesome. It's way out in the mountains, and they've got a bunch of stuff in there. They've got one of Blake Shelton's bars, Old Red out there. They've got Mellow Mushroom, which is another chain, which is incredible. I love their pizza. You gotta stop in Gatlinburg, but the mountains, there is a lot of construction going between Sevierville and Asheville, like going through the actual like Smoky Mountains where all the tunnels are and stuff. So I would allot yourself a little extra time just for that one lane shutdown. They've got like one lane closed, and it causes some traffic buildup sometimes with the tractor trailers going up and down the mountains. So be careful with that. But Gatlinburg is a must. You have to see it either on the way there or on the way back, I think.
Yeah.
Personally.
That's what it's kind of part of the plan. It was like maybe get about halfway to, maybe Gatlinburg area and crash
That's
for the
the place
night.
to stop.
And
I would look at Airbnbs. That's usually the cheapest place, like the cabin rentals and stuff out there.
Yeah.
Nothing's farther than like a mile or two from the downtown center. And it's usually pretty cheap for a cabin. I mean, I've got one cabin that I go out there that's just as expensive as getting a night at the Hampton Inn, but it's a log cabin out in the woods.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But if I think of any more too, I can definitely send those over to you because I'll think about it and,
all right.
and I'll think of something along the way,
Well, I appreciate your advice there.
Yeah.
Do you what's your go-to road snack when you're hitting the road? You got you and Willie.
Man, here's my problem. I was explaining this earlier before we got on here. I have an eating problem. Always have. I will sit and I'll eat an entire, and this isn't BS. This isn't bogus. I called my mom right before I jumped on here with you guys today, kind of upset about it and worried about it. But I'll sit and I'll eat an entire medium pizza, a whole box of cheesy bread, one of those brownie cookie things, a 2-liter, and I'll just binge. And not because I'm sitting here watching TV. Like usually the TV's off. I'm just sitting here eating and eating and eating. If I'm getting just like something at a gas station, like just snacks, I'm newly turned on to the combos. I'd never really eaten combos before. I'd never tried them. Newly turned on to the cheddar cheese cracker combos. I also found barbecue combos one time at a gas station, and those were incredible. But my typical always go-to has always been just a normal Slim Jim, always checking the expiration date because once they get to the expiration date, they're tough. I chipped a tooth on one actually one time. But Slim Jim and a Cosmic Brownie or Reese's Minis. If I stop and get like fast food, I really try to avoid McDonald's and stuff now. But I always end up either getting a fried chicken or a grilled chicken sandwich from Zaxby's or Popeyes with fries and ranch and all that. Or I get, I get Subway. I'll do a grilled chicken sub with just lettuce and onions on it, Chipotle sauce. Or I'll get Arby's mozzarella sticks.
There you go.
And those are the only items from those restaurants I've ever tried too. I've never tried a burger or at McDonald's or at I've just it's my very specific items. I've never tried a meatball sub from Subway. It's always my grilled chicken sub with lettuce and onions, Chipotle sauce every time. Always, if I go to Zaxby's, it's always my grilled chicken sandwich plain with Zax sauce on the side, just a sandwich, no fries, because I hate the crinkle fries. It's always just the cheese sticks with ranch. I've never tried anything else from Arby's. It's always very consistent. I never get like a whoopie pie or anything else other than Cosmic Brownie or Reese's Cups if I'm getting a sweet from the gas station. I always get the same flavor energy drink. This is actually off-brand for me typically because I don't usually drink watermelon, but somebody gave me this. So my favorite things are free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm willing to pay for them, but if they're free, I'm taking it all day. No doubt.
Yeah. All comes full circle. Free shots,
so long story
free
short,
shots, or free energy.
Yeah. No, long story short, I get the same thing wherever I go, but if I go to Taco Bell, I only get the chicken quesadilla, not the shredded chicken, because that just the tinfoil gets melted to it. It's just awful. I just always I'm very consistent when it comes to food, and but I'll get it and I'll eat it a lot, or I'll eat a lot of it.
Yeah.
So,
you know what you like.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the same way. Like when I tend to get a lot of the same items every time I go, just because it's the thing I do like. So it's hard to venture off and try something new and get disappointed when you know you're already gonna like what you always get.
Well, you know what it is too, and I studied psychology in college and high school, and I've got books on psychology. I've got a whole library next to me, and half of the books on there are psychology books. But there's nothing worse, in my personal opinion, than getting something and expecting it to be a certain way and it not. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
There's nothing worse than expecting to get a burger and it's just not done enough for you, or it's done too much for you, or and you can't expect. I never get angry because you can't expect everyone to know exactly how you like your food. But if I say, hey, I want a plain grilled chicken sandwich, just chicken bun, Zach sauce on the side, really hard to mess up, right? And I absolutely. There was one time I was dating this guy, the one that cheated on me all the time, but you know what he was great for? He always listened to me. So we go through Sonic. I got a same thing I always get since day one. My parents own a dairy bar. Same thing I get there. Reese's Cup, Blizzard, Flurry, whatever they are. Reese's Cup, Flurry, extra Reese's Cups. Mini one, small one. I just like a little bit. I don't like a whole bunch. I get sick. So I get the mini one, extra Reese's Cups. And we go around, pick it up, pull out, and it's Heath Bar. Not the right candy. And I can tell just by looking at it.
Oh, yeah.
And he even kind of argued with me and was like, no way. We get halfway down the road. I go, so-and-so, this is Heath Bar, and I'm not eating it, and I want what I want. Like, either stop and pull over and let me get Reese's Cups at the gas station, please, or please go back to Sonic and pull back through the drive-thru. He's like, Carly, it's 10 cars long now. I go, I don't care.
Right.
I'll sit there. We can go pull up right up to the thing whenever. We go back around, get the next one. It's the same size, Butterfinger, extra Butterfinger.
Not the same.
And I go, again, wrong. So we go back around, come back to the drive-thru. They give us an extra large Reese's Pieces. No Reese's Cups. And I hate Reese's Pieces. So now and I hate Heath Bar and I hate Butterfinger. Right. I hate all of them for this reason because I always get the wrong candy.
Yeah.
It always happens. So, but I love M&Ms. Nobody ever confuses Reese's Cups and M&Ms. So again, we go back through the fourth time. They give us the extra large Reese's Cup with whipped cream and a cherry. Now I'm pissed, dude. Right. You should have seen me. And now he's pissed because he's like, I've literally wasted $10 and an hour's worth of gas driving through this drive-thru today. And again, went back through and I said, I got on the microphone this time and I said, listen, lady. I said just like that, I go, listen, lady, this is the 5th time we've driven through here. I'm getting what I want, but I'm just so stubborn. So anyway, yep. That's
coming back there and I'm making it myself.
Dude, I would make it 10 times better. I grew up, my parents had Tasty Freeze. And I grew up making ice creams every single day of my summers from April to September from the time I was 9 years old. Child labor laws, didn't matter. I was in there for at least 4 hours. It wasn't illegal. Or for only like 4 hours, it wasn't illegal. And I was making ice creams. And I tell you what, I make out of some ice cream.
Yeah.
Mine are beautiful. I go to Sweet Frog and like the frozen yogurt places just to show off how good I am at making my own cones.
You go, watch this.
Yo, you want to see my secret talent? I can make really, really, really awesome ice creams. Only soft serves.
Yeah.
In Vermont, we call them creamies.
There you go.
Yeah. So
well,
I don't remember where that question started. But
hey, it's fun. It's all fun.
Went down the rabbit hole. Remember that one time I said I was going to get off at 8:10 and now it's 8:50?
All right.
That's okay. Hayden can wait.
Yeah. Sorry, Hayden.
Hayden Kaufman, another incredible artist to put on your radar. Shameless plug. One of my best friends. What's super cool, and I'm so sorry I just interrupted you again, but what's so cool about Nashville is there are a lot of people who are supportive and not competitive. I know a lot of other genres are very competitive, and you do see a little bit of that, but a lot of times it's, hey, you succeed, I'm going to succeed. Let's succeed together. Like, let's help each other out. And Hayden Kaufman has just always been one of those guys for me that from day one, hey, I don't care how well I do or how bad I do. I like you. I like your music. I'm going to support it.
Yeah.
Super awesome, dude. We write a lot together. One of the songs that's coming out this year we wrote together called Walls, and it's about your family selling the house that you grew up in. It's really cool, really awesome tune. But Hayden Kaufman has a lot of songs out now. He's absolutely incredible. He's so fun, so funny. Just, I can't say enough about him. Just one of the funniest guys I know. Plus he's an incredible singer, performer, songwriter, and so he's got a cool following too. So go check out his music. It's absolutely incredible. He's right there in that traditional lane too.
Right on. Yeah. Just speaking of that, just kind of reminds me of like St. Louis seems to have a strong community going like that. A lot of people just want to throw good parties and shows together and have fun. And like, it's not no ego stuff, and just people want to collaborate and have fun and, the best for everybody. So,
man.
It's cool to hear. Again, come party with us at Operation Triage Freedom Jam, August 29th, 2020. Here in St. Peters, Missouri. And you'll see Carly Rogers and a bunch of others. And, of course, supporting our veterans, first responders, and active service members. So
absolutely.
It's going to be a great time.
And I'm so sorry, fellas. I hate to have to do this, but Hayden's trying to text me and call me now. He just texted me 4 times. But if there's any other questions, I mean, I've got a couple more minutes if you've got anything else that you want to talk about.
I was wrapping it up, and we can always hopefully maybe we can link up when you come to town or something, and or something like that. Maybe I just want to say, so be sure to follow Carly on the socials. Be sure to check out all the music. But thank you for your time. This was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see you in person next time. So
absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Brian. Thank you for connecting us and for allowing me to become a part of this community. I'm really excited to see what St. Louis really has to offer and to just get to spend some time. We're spending the whole weekend there. Willie and me will be there. I think we've got the 2 nights Brian hooked us up with. So I'm super excited to just get to see what St. Louis is really all about. My dog, actually, we got an awesome photo in front of the arch a long time ago. You can see that on his Instagram if you go creep on him. But I'm on all the social medias. The easiest way is just to Google it, Carly Rogers. Thank you so much, Shane, for having me and for just listening to me jabberjaw for hours. Can you tell I've been lonely in the apartment? Just been sitting here staring at the walls with no friends. But no, for real, I appreciate you guys so much, and I hope you like the music, and I'll see you guys in August.
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah, man.
Thank you.